Big speech you've just made, the team out on stage, it's all very real now. How are you feeling on the eve of the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, pretty good. Obviously got to do my team talk tonight, so that's still something that's playing in the back of my head. That's the important one to get right. So still a little bit of work to go, but the team seem to be in a great place.
Well, you're looking mighty smart here,
Thank you.
next to us here as well.
Yeah,
in our
we're
Sky
normally
studio.
not like dressed up in suits.
You look fabulous, Padraig. Let's just show you how it all lines up, because this is the first time you heard the matchups on stage, obviously there, but you haven't had a chance to really take them in, so this is your first glimpse. Let's put them up there and see what you think of it. What are your thoughts at that then?
Look, everybody could have predicted the first match. If you didn't predict that, you know, they're putting their best out, we're putting our best out. Let's have a go at it. You know, it's a big match for both sides there. It is as expected. I think we expected a few other groupings there. DJ and Colin, yes. Brooks and Berger, we had an idea. But we weren't that focused on them, even though we would have known the #1 pairing.
Yeah, there's interesting, so much speculation on the build-up to it about who might play with who and in what order, but you don't really know. So have you just gone about doing your own thing when you've put together these 4 partnerships for Europe?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You got to focus on your own team. Positioning the matches, you know, I think we were pretty obvious, I assume, with the 2 Spanish boys out front. I think that's reasonable positioning. So outside of that, you know, you're not really, you can't guess what they're doing, and you've got to concentrate on your own team and look after the things you can control.
What's the significance of the importance of that opening point? You said their best up against the European best as well. What's the significance of that first match on the first day, Padraig?
Depends how it goes, I'll tell you then. You know, obviously you wouldn't want to make it any bigger than anything. Like, in the end of the day, there's 4 points up for play there. But, you know, I think JT and Jordan obviously have a very successful record, and they want to continue that. And I think they're a big part of the US team coming out of the President's Cups, and that this is something that I think they've said that they've used the President's Cup to build some partnerships. It's certainly something that you know, we used to have something like that in Europe when we had the Asia Cup. Now we don't. So yeah, that's something great for them. That the President's Cup is a great building for this event. But you know, as I said, it's we know they're a good pairing, and we put a good pairing out against them.
One of the themes coming in here was rookies with a difference. The European side have them, the US side have them as well. Major champions in there. Victor Hovland's a very special player. How did you go about the decision to pair him with Paul Casey?
Yeah, look, everybody wanted to play with Victor. You know, he's great at attitude, obviously a great player as well. You know, Paul is one of, you know, top player in the world now, solid player, but a great match player. It just fell nicely into place. We had a lot of options, I've got to say. I have 12 players that could play foursomes. There's nobody in my team that couldn't go out in foursomes. So you know, luckily it's not often we have that, but everybody could have played foursomes, and it was tough to have to let people rest. But you know, everybody's getting a day. You know, everybody should get a game on day 1.
Is that the mentality going in? We know the last 2 successes for Europe, all 12 players have played on the opening days. Is that something you're hoping to do?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get them out there, see how they enjoy the atmosphere, see how they get on. And yeah, first day you've got to get them out and play.
When you look at Westwood and Fitzpatrick, I don't think we're being unfair in saying they weren't necessarily firing on all cylinders coming in here to the Ryder Cup in their individual games. How have you felt about their progress on that team?
Look good in practice. Look great in practice. Very, very good. You know, suited to the conditions, suited to the golf course. I think, you know, Lee is obviously a stalwart there. And in many ways, I think Matt is probably the most underestimated player in the game. So I'm delighted with that partnership. This
morning's session's bookended by 2 amazing matches. That bottom one as well, we know that's a very strong side. Cantlay Schauffele against McIlroy and Poulter. What do you feel is going to pull that partnership together, as it has done in the past for the Europeans?
They're just good together. You know, I've got to say, set up very nicely on the golf course as well. But, you know, Ian really does help build that atmosphere and rises to the occasion. He's been playing great, and, you know, it's just an ideal partner. We saw it in Paris. He's an ideal partner for Rory. Wouldn't have been a hard one to predict that.
Well, you mentioned that you still got a bit of work to do tonight, and something I actually asked you how nerve-wracking was it at the opening ceremony doing the speech. Said not at all, but the speech tonight's really important. We've heard captains say that in the past. What is your job tonight with those players?
To be honest, I think my players are where I want them to be. I think they're very comfortable. So, it's just keeping them there. You don't want to get them too rised up too early, but they're just really nicely there. So, there is a little bit left. A couple of things left this evening. My speech and a little motivational video. But to be honest, I think it's we're in a nice place, and it really is a question of not messing it up from here.